Today, let's take a look at how we can do some dynamic split screen that happens based on how far away the players are from each other. Right, so to start us off here, I just have a simple 2D scene here. I've got the sprite acting as a background back here, just so we don't have the gray background and we can really tell that we're moving around. I have a static body here for the wall to show us that we do have our physics going on, and I have two players, a red and a blue, and they're sharing a player script that's based off of the built-in character body, and all I did is give them an ID. One is player 1 and one has a 2. So what we have here is, of course, player 2 moving around, and you can see the physics and all that work just fine. Of course, player 1 can move around. Right, all perfectly great. The camera's attached to the blue player here, and since that's the first camera in the scene, that's the one that's set as active. And if you get too far, obviously you can't see player 2, so you either have to be zooming out the camera, or you have to have some sort of split screen or a custom logic on your camera so that your player maybe can't get too far, and maybe it only zooms out so far. We're gonna do a split screen approach. Oh, I kind of got them stuck on here. It's Godot physics for you. But we're going to go ahead and do the dynamic split screen style. That's why both players have their own camera. Right, and the script that's on them, I don't know if I cut the other part out, but the script that's on is based on just the default character body script, and I just removed the gravity and the walking around, and I gave them an ID just so I can use the same script on both players. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now, what do we need to do to actually create this split screen? Well, a lot of players, or sorry, not players, a lot of people on YouTube are going to tell you to use something like an H-box and or V-boxes. And this way, this works. It's great because you can get split screen working with that. So if I come in here, I'm just going to go into my world, right, the node 2D. Let's get an H-box container. Set it to, we're going to set it to full, but I'm also going to get a control. I'll set that to full, and for whatever reason, it's not going to extend itself as I expected. So Hbox as a child of the control, and the control, I'm going to go to the layout, transform, and I'll just set this manually. It's like 1152, and is it 658? No. It's somewhere in there, right? I'm gonna go 648. There we go. So with both of these, we can now come in and we'll do a sub viewport container, and we're gonna give that a viewport, a sub viewport. There we go. Now we'll go to the sub viewport container. Go to layout, container sizing, and set expand. And we'll go to our sub viewport, duplicate that so we have two of them. All right, I'm going to grab icon, player 1, and my wall. So I'm going to grab my entire world, basically here, and put everything inside of one of my viewports. And then I'm going to grab player 2 with his sprite, collision, and camera, and stick that inside of the other viewport. Right, so now I'm going to run this, and you're going to see, well, in this case, it's hidden an issue here. One sec. Let's try that again. And you'll see we have one player that's able to move around. It's not really expanded out. That just might be a Godot bug. And you see we're walking around, we can't seem to find player 2, no matter what. Now, the issue with that is we actually need to come in, and the sub viewport for player 2 needs to have itself set to have the same world as player 1. So I already have a script here. I'm just going to attach to player 2's viewport, and if we open that up, as you see, we're just going to get world 2D and set it to the viewport from player 1 and set it to their world 2D. Oh, we cannot see that. OBS is lovely. But there you go. You can see they can see each other. They can move around. They can interact. They each have their own little view going on here. Fantastic. Right? But with that, that's fine with the way that people do that on YouTube. But the thing is, we want this to be dynamic because we want this to be based off of when we're close to each other, we have one screen, and when we get too far, we have a split screen set up. So this HBox container, I'm just going to go ahead and right click and just change it, change type. And what we're actually going to be using here is a split container. Right, so you're going to use a split container for that. And what I'm going to do here now inside the split container, I'm going to come on down, dragging enabled, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to set the dragger visibility to hidden. And inside of the themes, I have my separation set to 0. I set all of these to 0 just to be safe. And under, let's see, where's what I'm looking for? Icons. Right, I got my vertical touch drag here. I'm just going to set that to a gradient texture and set the width to 0. It's just going to set itself to 1, but that's fine. Oops, my mistake. That was the vertical. I wanted the, stop clicking. I want the H grabber down here in the theme overrides icons H grabber. Right, so that's going to be a vertical line. Let's set that to a gradient texture 2D, and again I'm going to go to the width and just set the width to 0. Just going to make sure everything here is set. Hopefully I don't have to reset that, and of course I do. One moment. If your viewport's not fully stretching out, it's still not filling out the whole thing like it was doing with the HBox, then you can just come into your viewport container and turn stretch on and off, and that should update it. I went ahead and did that with both sides here, so that should be completely filled. So now that we did that, we shouldn't have the splitter in the middle shouldn't be there. And right, so right now we have effectively the same thing that we had with the HBox container here, only now what we have here, I can go into that split container, and as I adjust the split offset, should be able to see. However, it doesn't seem like it is updating here. Is interesting. One moment. There we go. So I just went into the viewports and I turned stretch on. And there we go. Now as you see, all right, so if you have an issue with the viewports not completely filling out, you can go ahead and just go to the sub viewports and enable stretch, and that should completely fill it out. And as you see, it's perfectly fine the way it is. It's effectively the same thing as if we had an HBox container. As you can see, we can move around. We have physics. We have our split screen going on. Each player has their own camera moving. Nothing is really special about it. But if I go to the split container and I adjust the split offset property here, look at that. Now we have one screen. Now we've got two screens, right? So we can easily adjust this. So this is the key thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to be adjusting that on the fly based off of distance with our player. And with that, I'm going to go into my world here, and it just has this name. Remember, it's a split container, just because I dragged it in for the onReady, just real quick, just to set that up, and have a split world function. I can pass in the final value, and all this is going to do is create a tween, and it's going to tween that split container. It's going to tween the split offset value to whatever we want over the course of 1 second. Right, so my players, all I have to do inside of my process function here, I'm going to check if ID is 1, because I only need one player to be checking this. I don't need them to be fighting. So player 1's going to check the distance to player 2. We're basing this off a global position. If the distance is greater than 400, so if the players are 400 pixels apart or more, and it is currently not split, so my split property is false, which is just a variable I created up top. Then I'm going to get my world, and if you want, you can of course emit a signal. That'll be cleaner. Split world, I'm going to call split world and set it to 0, which is going to split it in the middle. And I'm going to set split to true. Else, if our distance is less than 400 and we are currently split, then we're going to call split world, and we're going to basically remove the split. Right, because we're going to take that offset and move it all the way over so we only see one screen, and we'll set split to false. So now by default, of course, I'm going to go to split offset, and I'm just going to set that to like 658. That way we can start with one screen. This really needs to get fixed with OBS. But here you go. We have a dynamic split screen, so player 2 can move around perfectly fine. As soon as their distance gets up, we have a split screen, and when they get close enough together again, it converts us back into one screen. Alright, so this is why I would use a split container instead of using an HBox container like everyone else is using on YouTube. For whatever reason, no one seems to be showing how to do this split version to have that dynamic feel between one screen and two screen. But it's fairly simple. As you can see, all we're really doing at the end of the day is set up the tree for a split screen like this, capabilities, and we're tweening a value at the end of the day. And that's mostly it. Alright, so that's it. Take care, have yourselves a good one. Hopefully I remember to edit out all the blank gray screens. For some reason OBS is not automatically detecting the game window here. Alright, that's it. Take care, have yourselves a good one. I'll see you guys next week.